You are staring out the window of a passenger plane when the clouds below start twisting. Then someone, there is a tornado on the ground directly beneath the aircraft. A second later, the plane drops, hard. The cabin. Ah! The seatbelt sign lights up, and now the storm outside looks less like weather and more like an argument between the sky and the earth. So what happens if a passenger plane flies through a tornado? Would the tornado pull the plane down? Could the wings snap? Would lightning hit the aircraft? Could the engines fail? And if the plane survives the funnel, what about the monster storm wrapped around it? Because here is the strange part. The tornado itself is not always the biggest problem. First, a quick reality check. A tornado usually stays connected to the ground or hangs beneath a thunderstorm at relatively low altitude. A passenger plane cruising high in the sky would not normally fly straight through the visible funnel. So if a plane gets anywhere near a tornado, it is usually dealing with the supercell thunderstorm that produced it. And that storm is a complete menace. Think of a tornado-producing storm as the tornado's larger, angrier bodyguard. It brings violent turbulence, intense updrafts, powerful downdrafts, hail, lightning, heavy rain, poor visibility, and dangerous wind shear. So if your plane flies into that environment, the first thing you are likely to notice is not the tornado grabbing the plane like a giant hand. It is the aircraft getting thrown around like the sky just found the shake setting. The seatbelt sign is on, the plane starts jolting, your drink leaves the cup before you do. Bags rattle, people grip the armrests, and the pilot is suddenly very busy earning that salary. Commercial planes are built to handle turbulence, but severe thunderstorm turbulence is another level. Strong rising and sinking air can slam the aircraft upward, then drop it again without warning. That alone can injure passengers who are not buckled in. Now let us talk about the tornado itself. Could it pull the plane down? Not in the movie way people imagine. A tornado is not a giant vacuum cleaner sucking anything within 100 miles into the sky. If the plane is high above the funnel, the tornado is not going to reach up like a tentacle and drag it out of the clouds. But if an aircraft is flying low enough, especially during takeoff, landing, or low-altitude storm penetration, the rotating winds and violent air around the tornado could be catastrophic. That is because the real killer is wind shear. Wind shear means the wind suddenly changes speed or direction over a short distance. A plane depends on smooth airflow over the wings to keep lift stable. If the air changes violently, the aircraft can lose lift, pitch unexpectedly, roll, or drop. And inside a tornado-producing storm, those changes can happen fast, very fast. 1 second the air is pushing you up. The next second it is shoving you sideways and down. The plane is no longer just flying through weather. It is negotiating with chaos. Could the wings snap off? Commercial aircraft are built much tougher than most people think. Wings are designed to flex. They are tested under huge loads, so a bit of turbulence is not going to turn a plane into loose furniture. But extreme storm forces can still damage an aircraft. Severe turbulence can push the structure beyond safe limits. And then there is hail. A powerful storm can fire hailstones at the plane like the sky has started throwing rocks. Large hail can crack windscreens, dent the nose, damage the fuselage, batter the wings, and harm the engine. That is bad enough. Now, add lightning. Lightning striking a plane sounds terrifying, because it is terrifying. But here is the good news. Aircraft are generally designed to withstand lightning strikes. The metal skin usually allows the electrical current to travel along the outside and exit the aircraft. So lightning alone does not usually bring a plane down. The bigger problem is everything happening at once. Lightning, turbulence, hail, rain, and violent wind shifts. The storm does not attack one at a time. It bundles. And what about the engines? Could a tornado shut them down? Directly, not likely in some magical instant, but severe hail and heavy water ingestion can damage engines. If a plane flies through intense precipitation and hail, engine performance can be affected. In the worst case, engines can flame out or suffer major damage. That is why pilots avoid these storms in the first place. No captain wakes up thinking, "Today seems like a good day to test the aircraft against nature's blender." Now imagine the worst case. The plane is at relatively low altitude. Visibility is awful. The storm is already violent. The aircraft enters an area of extreme wind shear near or around a tornado-producing cell. The plane may roll suddenly. Altitude may drop. The nose may pitch unpredictably. Warnings go off. Passengers panic, and the pilots may have only seconds to respond correctly. If the storm is strong enough, the aircraft could be seriously damaged or even crash. So would a passenger plane survive flying through a tornado? Maybe the better answer is this. A passenger plane should never be there in the first place. Modern weather radar, flight planning, air traffic control, and pilot training are all designed to keep planes away from severe convective storms. Pilots do not aim for tornadoes and hope for the best. They reroute, they delay, they divert. Because once you are inside that kind of storm, The question is no longer, can the plane handle it? The question becomes, how much damage are we stacking at the same time? So if a plane somehow flew through a tornado-producing storm and near the tornado itself, the most likely dangers would be severe turbulence, violent wind shear, hail damage, lightning, heavy rain, poor visibility, and possible loss of control. The tornado would not behave like a giant claw grabbing a jet from cruising altitude, but the storm environment around it could absolutely put the aircraft in deadly danger. Which is a very scientific way of saying you do not want your holiday flight entering the angry spinny cloud zone. Trivia time! Did you know planes almost never show the full weather picture on the radar you see in movies? Onboard weather radar is mainly great at detecting rain and moisture inside storms. That means pilots are not literally seeing a neat label that says, "Tornado here." They are reading storm structure, intensity, and radar returns, then making decisions to avoid the worst parts. And one more thing, pilots usually try to stay well clear of major thunderstorms, often by many miles, because the most dangerous turbulence can extend beyond the darkest cloud you can see. So if you ever look out the window and think, wow, that storm looks far away, the pilots may still be thinking, good, let us keep it that way. So what would scare you more? A passenger plane flying through a tornado-producing storm? Or being trapped in a car while an EF5 tornado crosses the road ahead? Tell me in the comments. Stay safe out there, and until next time.